Plants in Kenya are facing major threats, from tuta absoluta to maize lethal necrosis and of course to fake seeds. But the Kenya Plants Health Inspectorate Service is saying that it is going to deal and it is ready to deal with this emerging crisis. The question is how? Joining us on this week's episode of Inside Government, we're talking to the CEO of KEPHIS, Theophilus Mutui. He's going to respond to these questions, plus more. Thank you very much indeed, Bwana CEO, for joining us here. Would you, first of all, give us a status update on the crops and plants in Kenya?
Thank you for that question. My name is Professor Theophilus Mutui, Managing Director for Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service, KEPHIS. KEPHIS is a state corporation in the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. We are mandated by the government to assure that all plants and plant products in this country are free from pests and diseases. The second mandate is to ensure that the seeds being sold to the farmers meets the minimum quality standards as per the Seed and Plant Varieties Act. We are also mandated to establish service laboratories for the purpose of monitoring the quality of agricultural inputs, that is the seeds, the fertilizers, the pesticides. We are also able to test the soil for presence of nutrients, test water for suitability for irrigation, heavy metals, test fresh produce for pesticide residues, especially for exports. And lastly but not least, we are involved in trade facilitation in the sense that we are able to issue plant import permits and certification of all plants and plant products to enable them to move from Kenya to the rest of the world. Coming back to your question about the status of the plants, it's true that over the years we have had pest incursions coming into this country. We have had desert locust, we have had maize lethal necrotic disease, tuta absoluta for tomatoes, and many more other pests. From KEPHIS perspective, we are the National Plant Protection Organization and the International Plant Protection Convention. We ensure that we prevent introduction of pests and disease-causing organisms, and if by bad luck they get introduced, we prevent them from establishing and spreading from where they got in through to other parts. We do this by doing what we call providing plant health services or phytosanitary services. We also do pest risk analysis, in which we do profiling of what pests and diseases are found from our neighboring countries or trading partners, so that we are able to come up with measures to prevent introduction of those pests and diseases which are not found in this country. We also do disease surveillance. If we hear, for example, the issue of maize lethal necrotic disease, where is it? Mainly it was found in Bomet and spread through the nearby counties. I'm pleased to say that MLND, maize lethal necrotic disease, is not found in odd areas like Machakos, Kitui, Garissa. So we are working very hard to ensure that this particular disease does not spread to those places which it has not affected in Kenya. We are telling farmers on good agricultural practices or pest management to ensure that maize lethal necrotic disease does not get to those other places. For example, there are varieties of maize which are resistant to maize lethal necrotic disease. We also have this procedure where the farmers plant maize after maize. So we tell them they should do rotation or a break. Once they do maize, the following season they should do beans or non-related crops so that they can break the life cycle. And we are also telling them to observe management practices, the rogging, use of chemicals to spray pests or like aphids, which are known to be the factors for that particular disease-causing organism.
And all these are conspiring to affect Kenya's food security. When you analyze and when you look at all these threats, which one is most potent, and how are you dealing with it?
The most potent problem or challenge facing food security in this country is the fake seed. Why am I saying this is the most lethal? It's because at face value, a farmer will be able to buy grains which are colored with chalk or any other material thinking it's certified seed. Mm-hmm. They take their time to plow the land, they plant, they weed, they apply fertilizers, they apply all agronomic practices including spraying, and at the end of 3 or 6 months, depending on the life cycle of the variety, is when they realize they were duped. They end up not harvesting anything or minimal, which cannot sustain them. And this is a big challenge because now after 6 months, you find your food is secure and you cannot do much. You have to go back, you have incurred a lot of expenses. But KEPHIS as a regulator, we are telling farmers first to make sure that they buy certified seeds from a registered Govt dealer. When they go to that shop, they ask, where is the registration certificate for KEPHIS? That is the first line of defense to know it is genuine. Second,
and sorry for stepping on your shoes. In a country where majority of farmers are smallholder farmers who can barely read, do you expect them to have the confidence to ask for such a certificate?
They might not be able to ask for the certificate, but there's something they can be able to see. Mm-hmm. On the packet of the seed, there's a sticker with the KEPHIS logo. Mm-hmm. That sticker, they are able to scratch and they will get a 4-digit code. And then they are able to send it to 1347.
It is written there?
It is written. Mm-hmm. So once they send that code to that particular code I've said, they will get a feedback in their phone. Their phone does not have to be a smartphone. Mm-hmm. They will be able to get a message saying it's genuine or not. They should scratch it inside the Govt. If it turns out it's not genuine, they should return. They should not buy that seed. Mm-hmm. If it's genuine, they can carry it. Once they carry this...
How much is the SMS?
It's for free.
It's free of charge.
It's free. That is paid for by KEPHIS. Mm-hmm. So once they are bought, the seeds, and they take them to their farms, they should, once they are planted, keep the packaging material. The packaging material has a lot number. This is a unique code which allows KEPHIS to trace back which company processed that particular seed. Mm. So they should keep the packaging material. They should also keep the receipt of the amount they paid. So if the seeds do not germinate, that is the cause of concern, the first indicator that there's a problem. They should come to us with that complaint. We'll be able to follow, and the seed merchant or seed company responsible will be compelled to compensate them.
So wait a minute. So they may buy the seeds and they are genuine. Then they fail to germinate. And that's where you come in.
Yes. There are many quality attributes. Germination is one of them. Purity is another one. A third one is trueness to type. You might get a maize seed which are different. It could be 614, it could be DK something, it could be Katumani, and so on. So at looking, some people can be able to say from the size of the seed, but more often than not, you might not be able to say that. So germination is the first quality attribute you check. Secondly, when they have grown, you can be able to see whether there is a mixture. We call it, you see some which are tall, we others are short, other different colors. That is a mixture. That is also a poor quality seed. You should have uniform, same crop. Then the other aspect is whether it's true to type. If you bought this particular variety, is it the same, or it is mixed with others, or it is not performing? Also, different varieties are recommended for different environments. So you need first to know from extension agent which variety of the given crop is suitable to your region.
Mm-hmm. I have heard many statistics that 60% of seeds sold in Kenya are fake. Others will give you 50%. From the regulator's perspective, what is the percentage of fake seeds that are circulating in the Kenyan market? And who should be blamed? And what are you doing as the regulator?
It's good to differentiate between a fake seed and certified seed and so on. So a fake seed, so to speak, we can say is the seed which has not gone through certification by KEPHIS. There are processes for certification. The level
so that is uncertified.
Uncertified. If it has not gone through the KEPHIS process and it doesn't have the KEPHIS lot number, it's not certified, and we cannot ascertain of the quality. It might be good, but we cannot ascertain that.
And so that one is not supposed to be in the market?
It's not supposed to be in the market, and for our case, it's fake.
It's fake.
It's fake. But there is another case whereby unscrupulous traders will buy grain, whether it's maize grains, bean grains, and color them. This is just a criminal activity. And as our CS said, this is equivalent to treason, because we are cheating people, and at the end of 3 to 1 year, they get nothing. So you are interfering with their livelihood. But having said that, the percentage of fake seeds in the country are overstated. From regulators' perspective, we believe it's about 20 to 30% of the seed. And when does the packing happen? Packing happens when there's shortage of a popular variety. The traders know this variety is popular in a particular area, and when it is not present in the market, they go quickly buy grains, buy even packaging material for that particular company, package those fake seeds and sell. So this problem of about 20 to 30%, we are asking our administrators, the Govt, plus the police, to be able to help us, together with the wananchi. When you see somebody selling seed, when it's open in a packet, a gunia, in a gorogoro, that is not seed. Seeds must be packaged and untampered, and they must always have a KEPHIS label, so that you are assured the seeds are their quality. We have also come up with some people who are very smart, in the sense that they photocopy the labels of KEPHIS, such that if you want to scratch a photocopy, you cannot get the code. So also, if you find it's a photocopy, don't buy that. That is a fake.
What are they supposed to do if I go to a shop, I see uncertified seeds, I see fake seeds? What am I supposed to do? Keep quiet and walk away?
The first they are supposed to do is move to the nearest police station, report the matter, go to the Ministry of Agriculture. They can also call KEPHIS, and all of us have the responsibility of ensuring that the person selling fake seed is arrested and taken to court to face the criminal court system.
And I'm sure there are so many farmers who are watching us, and they know merchants who are in the business of selling fake seeds or uncertified seeds, which is detrimental to Kenya's food security ambitions. They may want to report this, but they do not want to be exposed. Is there a protection process where I can report that merchant ABCD is selling a certified seed, is selling fake seeds, without O'Brien being exposed?
Thank you for that question. It's a relevant question. If they get into KEPHIS website, which is www.kephis.org, we have an email for complaints. You can send a report such as anonymous. So you say, in this particular market, there's this person selling fake seed in this. We'll pick it up from there, and go and arrest the person. I want also to say that in the social media, we have seen people advertising that they are selling certified seeds of potato, maize, and so on. So people are not able, or the farmers are not able to ascertain. So what KEPHIS does, we will post as a customer, engage the person in advertising, agree on where to collect, to buy and collect, and when they come to deliver the seed to us, we arrest them. So we have had such cases where we have arrested people selling fake seed through the internet or social media. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But of course, you know, the rate of arrests is high, prosecution is also high, but conviction is where the problem is. And this has been blamed by less severe penalties. So what is KEPHIS doing about this?
This is a very good question. We have had challenges whereby, for example, KEPHIS will arrest a culprit with exhibits. Sometimes exhibits have disappeared, leading to the failure of the court process. We have also had problems whereby the culprit pleads guilty, but is given a very lenient sentence, like 150,000, 100,000, and yet the seeds they were faking is worth millions of shillings. So as KEPHIS, what we have done, we have held sensitization meeting, and we are going to continue holding roundtable meetings with the police, with the office of DPP, and the judiciary, so as to sensitize them the importance of giving very harsh penalties or the maximum prescribed in the law, so that this can act as deterrent from people doing that thing which is amounts to food insecurity and like a treasonable charge. We are also thinking of having a roundtable with the parliamentarians so that they can be able to review the act and review the penalties to make it punitive. It could be like 2 million and 10 years imprisonment or both, so that this will act as deterrence. I really like the punitive measures in GMO, National Biosafety Authorities, or Biosafety Act. It is 20 million or 10 years or both. So the same should apply for fake seed.
I have heard this from the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Agriculture, that they want to propose to Parliament that the offence of selling uncertified and fake seeds to be classified under the Treason Act. What is your position on that as the CEO of KEPHIS?
I 100% agree with our CS Honorable Kagwe when he says that people engaged in fake seed are committing a treason. This is because you are interfering with the livelihood of people, you are interfering with people's livelihood. The children cannot go to school, they are not able to feed themselves, and so they need to get the highest penalty possible so that this can act as a deterrence.
Mm-hmm. Have you started such conversations with the Parliament?
Last week, I was invited with my chair of the board to a round table with the parliamentarians as well as the private sector, where all these issues were discussed, and we are talking of a possibility of reviewing our act to make those acts to be the penalties to be very punitive. So it's a process, ongoing process, and we hope at the end of this process there will be far much severe penalties.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about between 20 and 30% of all seeds in the Kenyan market being fake. To what extent is this affecting food production in Kenya? By what margin?
Thank you. The same story, using fake seed, if we have 20%, it means that about 30% of the potential food yield is lost due to the use of fake seeds. But also you can be able to use high quality seeds, but if you don't put fertilizer, you don't spray, you could also have reduced yield. Also, there is the issue of post-harvest. What happens after you have harvested? If you don't store your grains, your fresh produce properly, they are going to be rotting and wastage. Post-harvest losses account for 20 to 50% depending on the crop. For fresh produce, it can reach to 50%. For the grains, it could be around 10 to 15%. So when you compound all this, you might get about 40%, as stated by FAO, 40% of the food goes to waste due to pre and post-harvest losses.
Post-harvest losses. In the last couple of months, there has been a lot of noise coming out of the proposed private member amendments to the Seeds and Plant Varieties Amendment Bill 2025. Why are we getting so much noise out of this?
Thank you for the question. It's true that there is a bill before the Parliament, the Seed and Plant Varieties Amendment Bill. This bill seeks to introduce a new class of seed called standard seeds, which is proposed to be regulated by Kenya Bureau of Standards. And then the other classes of seed, the 4 classes of seed, that is the breeder seeds, the pre-basic, basic, and certified seed, are regulated by KEPHIS. So certified seeds, the 4 classes of certified seeds are regulated by KEPHIS, and then the introduction of standard seeds certified by regulated by KEPHIS. This first in itself will bring a lot of confusion, because a farmer will go to a shop to buy seed. He will be asked, which seeds do you want to buy? Is it certified seed or standard seed? That will bring confusion. They will say, I just need seed. And it will be at the discretion of the seller to decide which seed to issue. I wish to say that internationally, through the OECD, Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, the seed scheme recognizes the 4 classes of seed which KEPHIS implements on behalf of the government. The way I said, breeder seed, pre-basic, basic, and certified. So standard seeds cannot be sold internationally because of that aspect of not being recognized globally. Secondly, there will be a confusion of regulation. The law says that is the CS responsible for agriculture to bring regulations on these particular issues of seed. KEPHIS belongs to another ministry, Ministry of Investment, Trade, and so on. So who will be responsible for bringing any regulations? Thirdly, the bill proposes to stop doing environmental trials or national performance trials, and is preferring to have lab analysis alone, so that approval for a new variety takes a maximum of 60 days, 2 months. It is important to evaluate varieties in the ecological conditions in which they are going to be grown, because you might have a good seed, but under different environmental conditions it performs bad, and you cannot determine that from the lab perspective. So that aspect, and KEPHIS does that religiously by doing the national performance trial and distinctiveness, uniformity, and stability test before we release a new variety. Granted, there's a need to be able to fast track the process of releasing a new varieties. Currently, on average, KEPHIS takes 2 years to be able to release a new varieties, because we do 2 seasons. And if the life cycle of that crop is 1 year per season, it means a minimum of 2 years. Using new technologies, it is possible to fast track, to be able to use modeling, and even have only 1 season for the purpose of releasing. So we want to fast track that and reduce the period from 2 years to under a year.
I mean, for KEPHIS has been around since 1996. So you're talking about how many years from now? I mean, how many years now? 19 years?
We are almost
27 years now. And so you have developed a lot of expertise when it comes to the area that you are in. And when you look at KEBS, Kenya Bureau of Standards, is custodian of standards in Kenya and the enforcement agency. Do you think they have the core competence, the infrastructure to deal with the certification of seeds?
Kenya Bureau of Standards is the competent authority in Kenya on issues of standards. They are good in the labs, metrology, and standards. But I want to state categorically that those standards which touches on plants, plant products, and crops ought to be regulated by agencies within the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development.
So, in short, what you are saying is that KEBS is currently constituted, doesn't have the core competence to certify seeds in the Kenyan market unless there is a major overhaul of its act and its infrastructure.
That is very correct.
How long would that take?
It will take a lot of time because they have to recruit people or retrain or retool the current staff. They also need to invest in buying land in different areas for the purpose of doing national performance trials. And in terms of the labs, we have, our labs are better or even equivalent or better than theirs in terms of testing, seed, and even other products. So we are actually, the gist of the matter, our labs are accredited to ISO 17025, which makes our results to be recognized globally. So our labs have the state-of-the-art equipment, we have competent personnel, and we are accredited to be able to test for the methods we are accredited, which are recognized globally.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is not rare to hear, state-owned agencies, arguing over bills, over acts, over infrastructure, over funding. But this has been very rare to see two agencies, embroiled in some sort of disagreement on who should do what. And there is the question, is there a mechanism within government for state-owned agencies to meet and mediate their differences in private before they come to the public?
Yeah. Thank you for the question. Under the all-of-government approach, when there is a disagreement within the government agencies or the ministries, the Office of the Head of Public Service is the one task of bringing them on board, and then we are able to discuss our issues and be able to come up with a way forward, so that people stick to their mandates and their competencies as provided for in law. So this is an issue which can easily be.
Has that happened with the proposed amendment bill?
With the proposed amendment bill, what has happened is that we were invited for public participation. We provided our written memoranda. We went for oral presentation, and KEBS also did the same. And now the arbiter at this point is the Committee of Senate responsible for agriculture, and I'm told that the committee agreed with the position of KEPHIS that KEPHIS ought to continue doing the certification of seed as provided for by the Seed and Plant Varieties Act.
Mm-hmm. Is there a conversation between KEPHIS and KEBS over this?
We have not engaged formally because...
Is there bad blood?
There's no bad... The CEO of KEBS, Madam Esther Gary, is my friend. We talk. We are in many committees and many agencies. For example, KEBS is the national focal point for Codex Alimentarius, and we have the competence in testing for food safety and so on. So we are members of that. We are members of many standard committees, technical committees in KEBS. So we have good working relationship. The only challenge possibly would have been KEBS might have looked at it as getting an extra revenue stream by regulating this standard seed, but what we are saying, we are one government, and since we have the capacity to do what we have done all these years, let the seed certification be left to us.
And talking about seed certification, I mean, you're talking about 2 years. It takes for the trial to happen and for the seed to be certified as fit and to be rolled out in the market. Is there any way this process can be shortened to, let's say, 6 months, 1 year? Because I understand the industry players are complaining that it takes too much time for seeds to be certified by KEPHIS.
Let me make a clarification. There are two processes here: seed certification and variety release, a new variety. Seed certification, we do it every season, and that's not a big problem. So the certification bid is taking place normally. We normally go to inspect seed crops at early vegetative phase and during flowering. And then we allow them, the fields, to be harvested and processed. That is within less than a year. That is certification, there's no problem. Problem is the process of releasing a new variety. The breeder, who is not KEPHIS, it could be a private or public breeder, develops a new variety. Once they have tested everything and found it is ready to be commercialized, now they apply to KEPHIS for the release of the variety. Once they apply, they should apply and fill the necessary forms and make a payment. Then they should tell us this variety ought to be released because there are criteria, because of yield is performing well, or a special attribute like disease resistant, like high protein content, like highly maturing. Those are, that's what we call special attributes. So once they apply, we normally go and plant them in the national performance trial in different agroecological zones where they have said the seed is going to be planted. This takes the life cycle or the season of that crop from planting to harvesting. You know, like beans takes like 2 months to maturity and harvest. Maize takes from 3 months if it's a dry season to 6 months if it's 6-14 to 1 year. So depending on the life cycle of that new variety, it has to take about a year to do 1 season. And we always do 2 seasons. We repeat. That's why we are saying 2 seasons, which more often is than not takes about 2 years if 1 season is 1 year. So in this process of growing, up from germination to harvesting, that is where we are saying we can shorten. How can we shorten that? We can use irrigation. If we are using irrigation, it means that there is no dry season. We are not relying on rainfall. We have 2 rain seasons, March, April, and October, November. So if you are relying on rain, these intervening months before the rain comes, you can't plant. That's a waste of time. So we use irrigation so that we can be able to use the entire 365 days in a year. That would be able to shorten. We have also done harmonization. And what we are saying is that if this particular variety has been released in any other country within COMESA or East African Community, which follows the same international standards like OECD, we will only need 1 season. 1 season could range from 3 months to 6 months, a maximum of 1 year or under 1 year to confirm. Ours is to confirm. There are sometimes the cabinet secretary responsible for agriculture is empowered by the law to waive the 2 years. In case of drought or calamities, can be able to exempt and allow a new seed crop to be registered and released very quickly. So there are many avenues in which we can fast track, but using modern technology, the drones, robotics, and sensing, we can be able to model and be able to shorten that, and that's where we are going. Going forward, I want to make a commitment that we will endeavor to release a new variety in under 1 year.
And I'm sure you're working with all the involved stakeholders to address this.
Yes, we are.
Prof, do we need to know anything about what KEPHIS is doing to address food insecurity in Kenya?
Yes, food insecurity in Kenya is a big challenge. So we are working with our partners, especially private and public plant breeders and research institutions like KARO, to be able to develop what we call climate resilience varieties. These climate resilient varieties are the ones which are drought tolerant. They are the ones which are resistant to pests and diseases. They are the ones which are highly maturing. They are the ones which have high nutrients, like fortified sorghum and so on. So we encourage them to do that, and we will facilitate them to be able to release them for the benefits of the use of the farmers. We have also beans which are rich in iron and zinc, and these are some of the climate resilient varieties we are encouraging plant breeders to develop.
Very good. Prof, thank you very much for joining us on Inside Government. You want to say something else?
Yes. Thank you. Today we are in Mombasa attending the first ever accreditation conference. Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service, as I said, we have a mandate of establishing service laboratories for the purpose of monitoring the quality of agricultural inputs. Our laboratory in Muguga is the COMESA Reference Lab for Plant Health and is accredited by KENAS to ISO 17025. Our analytical chemistry lab in the headquarters is accredited by EU for the purpose of testing pesticide residues in fresh produce, and is also accredited to ISO 17025. Previously, we are certified by SANAS, but we decided to be certified under the Kenyan accreditation. What does this mean? This means that our results are recognized globally, and once we issue certificates like seed quality or seed analysis certificate, phytosanitary certificates, they are recognized globally, and this will facilitate trade. Our produce will move seamlessly. There will not be the issues of non-tariff barriers, whereby somebody might be able to say, we don't recognize your certificates or the analysis. So this is a very important event, and we are excited to be part of this exhibition, where we are showcasing what lab services KEPHIS is offering, and the fact that they are accredited by KENAS to ISO 17025.
Prof, thank you very much indeed for joining us on Inside Government and for your insight.
Thank you very much.
Theophilus Mutui, Professor, is the CEO of Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service, joining us here on Inside Government to help us understand what they are doing, or what the agency is doing to enhance the health of plants here in Kenya, and of course contribute to Kenya's food security. They have been doing this in the last 25, 26 years. And according to him, KEPHIS will continue to do this even in the next 25 or 26 years. My name is O'Brien Kimani. Thank you very much indeed for your time. You have been watching Inside Government. Thank you.